No 2-1 here, no 2-1.
Gone. Yeah, good. Good footy.
I was a student of the game in regards to analysing opposition and things like that. I did a medial ligament in '94, and I was out for 14 games. And I thought, I can't play in this period, but what I can do is upskill myself to be a player that's got a lot of knowledge on opposition teams and opposition players. So from that point of view, I sort of studied the game, and that sort of gave me an appetite. That sort of was my intro into a snapshot of coaching. And then, one thing led to another. I went to Melbourne after I played and under Neil Danaher, and he gave me a great foundation. But in that room that I was with was Chris Fagan. Those blokes really nurtured me as a young man just straight out of the game. So I was very, very fortunate.
The day I got dropped after, I think it was round 8 against Fremantle, got told that I won't be playing against GWS the next week, and I knew that was the time. It's kind of a silver lining. I formed some really good relationships with the young key backs in the VFL. Felt a really good connection with them, and that's kind of sparked things for me. That I thought, well, this might be something that I could possibly do down the track. I got delisted at the end of 2017, and a couple of weeks later I got a missed call from this random number, and the voicemail was from Adam Scrobelak, who's assistant coach here now as well. So he was the head coach of Dolphins. He just called me and said, did you want to play if there's a coaching job there? And I said, no worries, let's have a chat. He said, we'll help you coach him, we'll get you in at Saints one day a week. So he played a huge part in getting me here, which I'm very grateful for. Don't tell him that though.
Yeah, when we started at Richmond, it was pretty tough. We went 0-9. And everyone said this is the worst team in history. But we could see improvement through the squad and through us as coaches. So for us to be able to get our first win and go 1-9, and then we think we won 3 and 4 in a row. So that was a good belief builder for the club, and it was just great working with players and trying to get them better and trying to get to a stage where they can be competitive all the time. That wasn't even a hard throw.
I knew that was going to happen coming in.
When we decided we were going to come back to Melbourne and beat St Kilda, the kids hadn't finished school, so they stayed with my wife in Adelaide and finished school. So it meant I was sort of couch surfing for 3 months, which is tough. You don't get to see your wife or your kids for that period of time. And what it did allow me to do, though, was get stuck right into St Kilda. And when I first got there, everyone else was still on holiday, so Rats and I were the only two at the club, and that was a good couple of weeks actually for him and I to, I suppose, swap philosophies and what we believe in and what believe works and doesn't work. So any knowledge we've got, we're happy to pass it on to each other and hopefully improve us as coaches, but also as a footy club.
Seb, just a bit easier, mate. There you go. Is that better? You trying
To be at Hawthorn through a successful time, I think, when you have success, it builds a lot of confidence and trust with the dynamics in the coaching group, let alone the players as well. So to see that happen and watch 1 year go into 2 to go into 3 was amazing. And we have the opportunity to create the next one. And these players that walk through the door and when they get drafted to St Kilda Football Club have that opportunity. But what you have to do is get yourself into a position. And that's the first thing. And whether you're good enough or it works out, whatever, but if you don't get yourself in a strong enough position, you're never a chance. And whether it's in the short term or a little bit longer, who knows, but that's what we're going to be working on really hard. Okay, while we're just jogging off, just have a chat amongst yourselves, the things that we can do a little bit better for the bloke with the ball, about running to receive and getting into his vision and helping it, so those patterns that we've talked about, and also keep working on that press forward. So, yep, from 20 metres now, there's only 4 of you, but we've got to get into their grill. And when we do that, we're big, and then they've got to kick around us, and that's when an error might happen. But if we don't, the errors are not even there for the oppo. All right? Jog off, good work. Good drill. Sometimes you need that break at the end of the year when you're having a bad year, and you need to reflect and be pretty hard and brutal. And I think my time here, everyone's, the review's been pretty extensive in regards to the football game plan and the program as well. So I don't think there's been too much missed from that point of view. And the bit is too, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. And that's what can happen when you're in that cycle of not winning games. It's doom and gloom, and we're never getting out of this. And on the flip side, when you're up and winning, it's sort of, you can do nearly everything right. You know, the missed kick hits the bloke on the chest and he kicks the goal to win the game. Those type of things, you know, luck sort of goes your way. But it's trying to break the cycle that's important, and some teams can do it in season, and some have to wait to the end of the year to break that cycle and then start fresh and build confidence again.
Who are you mainly playing on?
Playing.
How are you finding him?
I find him quite slippery, like pretty smart as far as like he's real quick at reading whether he's going to impact that contest or he's not.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you turn around and he's gone.
Yeah, he stays on the move, like.
Yeah.
Our kids went to school together and played 1 year with Richo and Vets basketball. Very good offensively, but so terrible defensively. You'd rebound the ball. If I did get it, he was racing to the basket. And by the end of the game, he'd say, "Oh, how'd I go? I shot 20 points. It's like, you're allowed to defend occasionally, buddy." So our friendship sort of grew from our kids. Then there was the opportunity to come to Carlton and had a fair understanding of him as a person. Then I knew about his footy brain too. So to get him across to the Blues, I was very lucky.
Good, come back.
Still you. Well done, Sebby. Good work, mate.
First impressions of Richo was very strong man, knows a lot about football, getting very good at relationships with the players and the coaches, but also very good at understanding when to let the other coaches take control of whether it's drills or meetings or just overall opinions on things.
He was under a bit of pressure last year, Richo, but he's been really keen on building relationships with everyone, not just the coaches, but with players and staff. So he's made a conscious effort to do that, and I think we've seen the benefits. He only last weekend went down to Tasmania with one of the players to catch up with him and his family for a couple of days and nights. So he's making a real effort in that space, and hopefully Rats, myself and Henry can help him as much as we can.
Jimmy, you need to be on.
He said he's going to come straight after this.
Righto. He's the captain, I suppose. He can pull that rein.
I think he's a very proud man. He went away over the off season and has made a few changes, and that they're starting to shine through a fair bit, which is great to see.
I think I was easier on him than he is on me. No, I say that tongue in cheek. It's good. I think there's an understanding of each other. I think he trusts my view on things and scenarios and the experience that I have as a coach, and that's what I think I'm here to do as well, is to help and assist him as much as I can. And sometimes when you're the senior coach, you feel like you're the lone soldier there a fair bit at times, and I think the support around the coach is so important. How, when it's going well, that's great, but when things aren't or he's having trouble working things out, we're there to make sure his life's easier to do what he does best, and that's coach footy.
New shoes?
I got him the other day, mate.
Are we allowed to wear hiking shoes at training? Or
You're going to take it back.
are you happy with it? As long as you're happy, mate, that's all that counts.
Well, this one we just go with my top and look like a bit of an outfit.
True. You might start something.
I lost a bet and I have to wear shit shoes for the rest of the year. I suppose the big part about coaching groups is I might be doing offence, but everyone else has a say. Whether Henry's doing defence, well, we challenge his views to make us better as a group. And if we don't have those conversations, I don't think we're pushing the boundaries. We can't sit still. The game's going to change, and we need to keep adjusting with the game slightly. And that's what I think we complement each other. Brendon Lade coming from Port Adelaide and Richmond. Henry was here last year, but at Sydney, and I've been at the Hawks and that as well, and the Blues. So there's a little bit of IP, but I think different thinking across the board, which then allows us maybe to have some real good, I suppose, sometimes conflict in our discussion, but we're trying to get the best result to make sure that we're the best team we can be.